Do you ever feel like some of the most important conversations we need to have just don't happen until they eventually go viral on social media? Well, finally, we're talking about eldest daughter syndrome. One of the most intense memories that I have is being with my siblings and cousins when I was about 7 or 8 years old and having my uncle storm into the room. I was the eldest child of all of them, all the cousins, all the grandkids. I am the eldest everything. And he grabbed me and spanked me. And I started crying and I said, "Why did you do that?" And he said, "Because I just came in here and asked you guys to be quiet and everybody's still screaming." And I said, "I'm not screaming. I listened to you. I did what you asked me. Why did you spank me? And how come you're not spanking anybody else?" And he said, "Because you're the oldest. You were supposed to make sure your siblings and your cousins stopped. If you don't want the consequences for this, then you step up and be responsible." I've always felt that that memory kind of defines my life in a way. And I'm in therapy again, and at the end of the decade of my 40s. And I feel like at this time in life, I think particularly for women, so much of what we have suppressed is coming up. Like perimenopause is part of this process, I think, this natural process that it will bring up all the stuff. And I look at so many things in my life and where it ended up, and it, there's a part of me that's like, it was never going to end up anywhere but here. I was never going to get married and have kids. I was my parents' parents. I was my siblings' parents. I was my cousins' parents. I've been mom number two as auntie. I've been taking care of my family since I was a little girl. And after going through this big surgery that my nephew had a couple months ago, and seeing the way that everybody treated me during that period of time and what they expected from me, it was really quite eye-opening. There are times at this point in my life where I feel like I'm not sure I even know who I am. I am so used to being a function in other people's lives. I am so used to caregiving. I am so used to being big sister, good daughter, that I literally don't know who I am. Hence why I'm on this journey of trying to center myself. I wrote about this today. I just cannot get this off my mind. And as I was writing, it was really hard to face all of the ways that I was treated so differently than my siblings. I had so much responsibility compared to them. My family had sky high expectations for me. And so many people that are talking about this are in their 20s. Let's talk about the eldest Gen X daughters. We're literally taking care of our parents at this point. We literally need help right now. So if you can relate, you can find this article by clicking on the link in my bio.
Okay, Gen X daughters are coming out to talk about their eldest daughter syndrome, how it affected them even till now. That is that is insane. Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? My name is Maria Davis and I'm back again with another interesting video. Alright, if you are the eldest daughter in your family, you're the first daughter in your family, do you think you have any eldest daughter syndrome? Like they make you like the mother of all your siblings? They make you like responsible even at your young age? Let us know that in the comment section, okay? I am not an eldest daughter in my family, so I can relate. I'm the third born in my family, but then I know what's up. I know what's going on, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and play stitches for you all to watch, all right? So kindly watch the stitches and I'll come back and talk about this video.
Because you're the oldest, you were supposed to make sure your siblings and your cousins stopped.
I have never had anything speak to me more in my entire life. When I was 10, my sister made her first communion. And during the course of the festivities, she decided she wanted to go and grab some of her first communion money and go buy candy. And I said, "Do not do that. Mom will be mad." And she did it. And when my mom found out, I get yelled at because I was the adult in the room. I was 10. I was 10. It was my job to keep her from doing something stupid, even though she was only 2 years younger than me. There's no huge difference between our ages. And it has been that way since. And they rely on me for information about medicine or almost anything. And here's the thing. They completely trust everything I tell them in this regard. But if I say, if the people you keep voting for ban abortions, that means my remaining child wouldn't be able to get help if she had a miscarriage. In the same way, my sister had a DNC when she was miscarrying and got to, in theory, save her own life. And my sister is a person who is as pro-life as you can be. But they would all accept my daughter's death. And I can't question it because they're entitled to their beliefs. But they use me for information, for knowledge, for support whenever they can. And I don't know what to do.
Do you ever feel like some of the most important conversations we need to have just don't happen until...
I hear pain. There's a lot of pain in you from the experiences you had as a child and the way other people treated you, and that was not okay. But I want to come on here to warn you about something, to not fall into this pit of making a syndrome or a rule about something. That's not really a rule, it's just your personal experience. Because not all eldest children experienced what you experience. Not every girl in every family who grew up in this way did not go on to have husbands and children. So don't make your personal experience into a syndrome or something we should think of as a general rule. And I'm just saying this because I really see this all over this app, particularly. That every time I experience something, it must be something almost diagnosable. And that's not what it's about. And back to the more important part, your pain is real. What you experienced is real. And I'm so glad you're healing it. And I'm so sorry you had to go through that. It does not make it universal.
On social media, well, finally, we're talking about eldest daughter syndrome.
Hello, hey, for context, please watch the original video from the creator. She brings up so many good points. Basically, the gist of it is about eldest daughters that are Gen X. Me, I was on the tail end of Gen X. I was born in 79. I'll be 44 in a couple of months. And she was talking about how the oldest Gen X daughters were treated and held to so much higher standard than their siblings, and I can absolutely attest to that. She said something in there that triggered me because, you know, you're the oldest and you should know better. And, yeah, I got that line to me so many fucking times. Got so much more trouble and the hardest put on me. And, you know, and so I had to take care of my brothers because my mom took off when I was 8 years old. And so my father was a single father, had to work. And so I was in charge of taking care of my two brothers. I was parentified. I took care of them until I was forcefully moved out at 19 years old because my dad remarried. And I have two younger brothers. I raised the youngest, and the I also raised my middle brother, who now has resentment towards me like he would a mom, because I left at 19 to pursue my own life and get married. And she was also talking about how we're reaching our 40s and that we're having some difficult conversations and difficult thoughts, and things are bubbling up so badly, and I can relate to that. And it was like after I turned 40 and my hormones dropped, or after my hysterectomy, I'm now in perimenopause myself, and it's just so much coming up. Got thoughts and issues and anger bubbling up. Oh my God, the anger. I mean, that's the worst part of it for me, and I'm trying to emotionally heal, so, because I also have weight problems and everything related to my traumas as a child and everything else, and I'm having to feel all these uncomfortable feelings, and I know the only way to end the pain is to go through it, but it just never ends. It's like a scar that just throbs from time to time, and there's nothing you can really do about it. But on the plus side right now, my parents died early. My dad died young, and my parental figures in my life died young. So at this point, I'm living the rebellious phase I never got to have, but with adult freedom and money.
Well, finally, we're talking about eldest daughter syndrome.
Storytime. When I was a kid, we would go and have big family dinners with my grandparents and all of our extended family on Sundays often. And at one of these, my sister and I went to play outside. She would have been 5-ish or maybe 6, and I was 7, I think. And my sister, who loves animals, saw a stray cat and wanted to pick it up. And I tried to stop her, and I said, don't pick the cat up. The cat could bite you. The cat could be dangerous. The cat might not want to be picked up. And she loves animals and decided to pick it up anyway and thought, oh, that cat would never hurt me. And it bit her like on the top of her ear really hard. And I don't, to this day, understand this exactly, but it bled so much. Like, it was shocking. There was just a huge amount of blood just pouring down the side of her face. And of course, she drops the cat and runs inside and is crying and, in hysterics or whatever. And runs up to my dad, who doesn't even look at her, and stands up and in front of the whole entire family just absolutely unleashes on me, screams at me for not protecting her in front of my uncles, my cousins, my grandparents. I'm 7. The thing that's messed up for me about that story too is that it got retold numerous times as I was growing up, and sometimes by me and sometimes by others, and it was always funny. Like, it was always told like it was funny. And I think sometimes when I retold it, I was just looking for like a different response, like that didn't include my dad laughing about the whole thing. And now, like, over a period of years, I can see how, I have been trying to watch out for my siblings in different ways all my life, especially at times when I don't feel like the people that should be looking out for us are looking out for us in ways that we have needed. And I've been not always successful at doing that well, but I feel like a fierce need to look after them because they need someone looking after them. And I've been told my entire life that that's my job.
Do you ever feel like some of the most important conversations we need to have just don't happen? And
Oh, pull up a chair, because this one's for me. The oldest Gen X daughter, well, that is me. And my mom decided to turn me into a parent when I was about 6. See, my mom had babies to try to trap my father. And when it didn't work, she had no use for us anymore. And that's when it was my job to step in and raise my brother. My brother also has special needs. He has autism. And let me tell you something, in the mid-'80s, nobody knew shit about autism. But all of that was my responsibility. Every last bit of it. I spent my entire childhood raising my brother, who was only 4 years younger than me. And every single thing was my responsibility. Talking to his teachers. Could you imagine? I couldn't go to birthday parties. I couldn't go to friends' houses. I couldn't join activities, after school sports. I couldn't do anything because my number one job was raising my brother. Now, I never held any resentment towards my brother. I still don't. I love him to death, and this is not his fault. But fuck my mom. Yep, I said what I said. That woman took my entire childhood away and gave me more responsibility than I could ever deal with. And as an added bonus, she was a gigantic steaming hot mess that I had to take care of as well. My favorite experience personally was when I was about 12 and she was broken up with and decided she was going to try to kill herself right in front of me. Nothing like being 12 years old wrestling pills out of your mom's hand. But I digress. Now I'm 49 years old and I've been in this position, this role my whole life. And I do not know who the hell I am now. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I like because I've spent my entire life raising and taking care of everybody around me because it's all I know. And now my son is a fully functioning grown-ass man who really doesn't need me for any, he doesn't need me. And I don't know what the hell to do with myself. Because in those critical developmental years, those years that you're supposed to figure out who you are and what you like, I wasn't allowed. Because that woman told me straight up, it is your responsibility to take care of your brother. She made that selfish ass decision in 1982. And I've been struggling ever since. Now I'm on this quest to figure out who I am and what I like and what I want. It's tough, man. It really, really is. But I don't know. Wish me luck because I am the older Gen X daughter and I took care of everyone.
If you're still here at this point, definitely you're enjoying this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video. And also just comment something your thought is acceptable down in the comment section. All right, so for me, I feel like eldest daughter syndrome is a very, very common thing here in the part of the world that I am. Like, if you have a child, your first child, and it's a daughter, when you start giving birth to your other children, do you know what people say? Oh, don't worry. Your first daughter is going to help you. Thank God it's a daughter you have. She's going to help you do everything. She's going to help you wash the dishes. She'll help you take care of your children. She'll help you take care of the rest of the siblings because she's a girl. You know, they make you feel like, oh, you don't need help at all. You don't need to collect or hire a help or a nanny in the house because you already have a daughter as your firstborn. They make the daughter a very important like she's the maid that you're not paying for. A young child though, a very young person, like maybe like just 2 years older than the second born, but they make her responsible. Like they even leave the other siblings in her care just because she's the eldest daughter. And if anything happens, they always blame the eldest daughter. I don't know about for son, because when it comes to house chores, they do not train sons to do that over here. They do not train their sons to do that over here. It must be a daughter. When it comes to responsibility, they do not train sons to do that over here. They only train daughter. So if you're an eldest daughter in your family, over here that I am, which is Africa, they make it like you are irresponsible for all your siblings. They put your siblings in your care. In short, mothers can go out and leave the children, the rest of her kids, with the eldest daughter. Mind you, she might just be 2 years older than the rest of the siblings, but they make her that responsibility, like she's the mother, she's the nanny, she's the sister, she's everything. They give her that responsibility. Can you just imagine? And the funniest part is, she's not even getting paid for all this, and she will still get blamed for any little mistake. This is like a very common thing where I am. Like when I saw this video, I'm like, okay, this is happening over here as well. I'm shocked. I thought this was just here. Oh, to be honest, that is why I had to bring this video right here. Let me know if you experience any eldest daughter syndrome. I want to know your thoughts down in the comment section, because this is a particular conversation that we need to have, because this is affecting them. It didn't just for them to still remember at this stage means that it really went deep into their brain to see how to make them feel like they are so responsible. And you know the funniest part, as an adult, it affects them. In fact, that they are not very controlling, because I have a friend that she's the eldest daughter in her family, and she tells me that she has this what would I call it, controlling freak. She controls everything. Like, she has to control everything. Even when she got married, it also affected her to her husband, that she start controlling what her husband does. And she's like, okay, her husband's like, you control me a lot, and she has to sit down and, okay, what is really wrong, before she starts to realize that, okay, this controlling thing happened to her when she was small, because they made her to always have control over her kids, and if any her siblings. And if anything wrong happens, she's always the one at fault. So what happens now is, for her not to make anything wrong happen, so that they will not end up beating her at the end of the day, do you know what she does? She has to be in control of everything, and that affected her even to years later. 30-40 years later, it still affected her. Can you just imagine what this is going on? I want to know what you all think about this particular video down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you all so much for sticking around to this point. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and share and comment and subscribe and all of that good stuff, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.